Ray's past life was one of endless exhaustion. Day after day, he lived in the operating room. Emergencies, surgeries, the cries of patients, and the unrelenting pressure of saving lives. There was never a moment of rest, never time to breathe. Even now, in his dreams, he could still hear the calls. But then, he woke up. The heavy lights of the operating room vanished. The sharp sting of exhaustion faded. Instead, he opened his eyes to a quiet, unfamiliar world. And in that moment, he remembered. He had died. He had been reborn into another world. This time, things would be different. He vowed never to live the same repetitive life again. From his earliest years in this new life, Ray's heart was drawn toward magic. Ray returned home, his steps light and full of energy. His father welcomed him warmly, his mother relieved to see her son so cheerful. The joy of the moment, however, quickly gave way to something deeper. Ray's eyes held a quiet determination, a resolve that surprised even his mother. He no longer wished to simply play or pass the time idly. He had made up his mind to pursue magic. The thought of such a young boy choosing this path stirred both pride and concern within her. To her, Ray had always been precious, bright, innocent, and endlessly curious. Yet now, she saw the beginnings of ambition in him. How a spell could be triggered by intent and action. She demonstrated simple fire magic. Its brilliance lightened up the room. Ray watched in awe as flames appeared before him. Though it was impressive, the spark of wonder faded quickly. He had seen this type of magic before. It no longer carried the same weight of surprise. His mother, noticing his reaction, decided to explain. They sat together as she began to teach him the basics of magic. She explained that spells were formed by channeling mana, given shape through a trigger word, and reinforced with a trigger action. It was a simple process, one that anyone could follow with practice. Ray, however, was not content with simple explanations. His mind immediately raced with questions, eager to uncover deeper truths hidden beneath the surface of what he had just been taught. Ray's mind worked differently. He questioned the very structure of magic itself. Why take 3 steps to ignite a flame when the same result could be achieved in 1? Why waste energy storing mana inside the body when it could be drawn directly from the world around them? His theories were bold, bordering on reckless, but his mother could see his genius. Ray was no ordinary child. Ray's curiosity pushed him far beyond the basic lessons his mother offered. Instead of simply repeating incantations, he began to question the very structure of magic itself. While others followed tradition, he looked for simpler, more efficient paths, ways to streamline the process of shaping mana into power. As he experimented, something remarkable happened. By stabilizing the flow of mana into a single, complete state, he discovered that attributes could be added directly. With this, he managed to perform something entirely new, an advanced form of magic beyond his years. The results startled even his mother. She had not sensed the usual flow of mana that accompanied spellcasting, and yet the magic manifested with flawless precision. It was as if Ray had redefined the very principles of how mana could be controlled. In that moment, it became clear. His way of seeing magic was not like others. Where most saw limitations, Ray saw endless possibilities. Ray's display of magic left his mother astonished. She'd never seen such refined control, nor the ability to wield mana with such precision at his age. To her, it felt as though she were watching a genius, someone destined to surpass even the greatest magicians in history. That night, his parents spoke in hushed tones. They both knew the truth. Ray's talent was extraordinary, far beyond what ordinary children could achieve. It was the kind of brilliance that appeared only once in 100, perhaps even 1,000 years. But brilliance also brought danger. If the Academy discovered his gifts too soon, he could be taken away, molded into a weapon before he had the chance to truly live. Unaware of their worries, Ray listened quietly. Their words stirred something within him. Years passed, and Ray grew into his teenage years. By the age of 15, his reputation as a prodigy was undeniable. His endless hours of study and experimentation pushed his understanding of mana far beyond that of ordinary magicians. His body, having absorbed an extraordinary amount of mana, even began to change. His once golden hair had turned pure white, a sign of the power within him. Yet, Ray was not content with magic alone. Memories of his past life as a surgeon remained sharp in his mind. He remembered the weight of patients who relied on him, the responsibility of saving lives. And though he had sworn not to repeat the mistakes of that life, a part of him still longed to heal, to use his knowledge of both science and magic to give people hope. Perhaps, he thought, it was time to put it to the test. With preparations complete, he decided to take his first step, venture into the city. Ray stood before strangers and declared himself a healer. He promised he could cure the sick, that no illness was beyond his ability. But to the people, he was nothing more than a boy boasting impossible things. They dismissed him with laughter, treating him like a kid who didn't get the gravity of his words. Hours passed, yet no one approached. Still, Ray waited. Then, a voice called out. It was a young noblewoman. The young noble girl stood before. Her eyes filled with both doubt and desperate hope. She questioned his ability, uncertain if someone who looked so young and unassuming could truly heal anyone. Her skepticism was sharp, almost mocking, as though she couldn't believe such a claim. Yet Ray did not falter. Despite her dismissive attitude and the insult of being called short and useless, he held his ground. Inside, he reminded himself of his conviction that no matter what the case, there was not a single patient in this world he could not save. The girl hesitated, her initial doubts slowly giving way to something else. Against her own judgment, she began to sense a strange reliability from him, a quiet assurance that demanded to be believed. It was then that she introduced herself formally, revealing her identity as the sole daughter of Viscount Gade. Ordinary he appeared in comparison. Still, the moment marked a shift from disbelief to the beginning of trust. As she described the symptoms, an unnatural swelling in the chest, growing rapidly like a balloon. But to Ray, it sounded hauntingly familiar, a malignant tumor. Ray's determination hardened. He could not turn away. He agreed to see the Viscount. When they arrived at the noble estate, the atmosphere was heavy with grief. Servants greeted them with downcast eyes, and the butler delivered the devastating news. The Viscount had passed away only moments earlier. Disbelief. Her cries echoed through the chamber, raw and broken, as she clung to the hope that her father was not truly gone. Alicia fell to her knees, her cries piercing the silent halls. She clung to her father's still form, refusing to believe he was gone. But Ray approached quietly, his instincts as a surgeon taken over. He placed his hand near the body, feeling for even the faintest sign of life, and there it was, weak, fragile, but still present. The Viscount was not entirely gone. Hope surged within Ray. This was the chance he had been waiting for, the first true test of his abilities in this new world. As Alicia raised her tear-filled eyes toward him, she begged him with all her heart, "Please, save my father." Ray nodded. The time for hesitation was over. With calm resolve, he promised himself that the man before him would not die today.